Hello, I am Gremlin Dominus, and yay! It's that time of the week where I do a boys review. I'm really excited for this one, can't you tell? Not. This. I feel like this is the time where I'm like, okay, I give up. I mean, I'll watch the finale because I'm too deep in. That's what I've been telling myself every season after the first one, which was actually good. I'm too deep in. I'm going to stick with it. Maybe it'll get better. Maybe it'll get better. But then it just never gets better. So we have Homelander kill the president. Woo! What a big deal. Not that guy. I don't even know his name. He's just not even important. I remember him from like 2 seasons ago. And then, of course, they have Homelander outlawing women from not breastfeeding because we're still doing the breastfeeding gag 5 seasons in. Second to last episode, Homelander's meant to be a threat, and we're still doing the breastfeeding. And I just don't even care that he killed the president. It just doesn't even surprise me. It's like Homelander killed someone. Oh my gosh. He's so terrifying, right? I'm supposed to be scared of Homelander. He's so unpredictable, but he is predictable because he always kills every time. Kill, 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 kill. Surprise! Kill again. And then it's Jordan and Marie from Gen V. Remember Gen V? Yeah, they're here for 2 seconds. They don't matter at all. It's just an obligatory cameo for characters that weren't in this series for 5 seasons. I'm sorry. 2 seconds was still too long for them. I like them in Gen V. I like Gen V well enough, but it's like I don't even care. I don't want them here. Our own characters aren't getting development. We don't have time for them. And then I will say Kimiko undergoing the radiation, that was like the first actual Kimiko thing she's done all season, so I was happy about that. And then Huey being the first of the boys to give up just didn't really make any sense to me. I'm like, Huey, you're supposed to be the heart of the team. How many times are you going to give up? And then Butcher doing the Spice Girls line. It's like, oh, nostalgia. Remember season one? Remember season one? Posh Spice? Posh Spice? Yeah, I don't care. Butcher, I don't care anymore. I'm not feeling this. And then, okay, Homelander abolishing the Seven. I liked that. That was like the ultimate diva move. I will give credit there. That was like when the management gets fired by their star, who now outshines them. Vought has like officially just doesn't even matter anymore. That I did like. That is like one of the few things that I'll say. Oh, and then Homelander, the deep going, ooh, I want a job. Oh, can I have the Seven? And then Homelander going, wishing you all the best. Like he doesn't even have time to any time to care about it. I'm like, okay, that made me laugh. Then we had the Starlight propaganda illegal alien thing with the fake baby. That almost got a smirk out of me just because it's just the writers just. Do we remember when the boys actually had clever layered satire, and then now it's just like the most obvious, oh, look, another birthright citizen. I'm just like, oh my gosh. And then them saying, oh, we're bringing the illegals over for subdivisions and fast food chains and to make money off of them. That was almost clever, but it's meant to be a parody of their actual beliefs. So it's not even like they're really admitting that's their beliefs. They're framing it as parody by the other side. What might have made me laugh was if they said we're bringing them over to have more votes so we keep our politicians in power. That might have got a laugh out of me, but the boys is only going to punch the other side. And then Sage made an Epstein joke about him dying, but it wasn't even he killed himself or he didn't kill himself. It was just avoiding that entirely. So I'm like, woohoo, they made an Epstein joke. Yeah, I don't care again. And then I'm just sitting here like, why is Sage still here? Why do we care about Sage? Of course, they gave her a redemption later in the episode, but it's like, let her stick to her guns. If she doesn't want to help, let her get the ice pick out and do her thing. I don't even care about her anymore. Just get her off the screen. The whole idea of Kimiko getting Soldier Boy's powers in the first place is a total cop-out. It's ridiculous. We haven't confirmed that she has them, but it seems likely that she does. And I don't like that at all. It should be Soldier Boy that's going to depower Homelander if it's anyone. It's It's ridiculous to just suddenly give her those powers and steal the most obvious story. And then Frenchie, he gave this speech. Oh, Love Island, Love Island. I love, I love Kimiko because Love Island. Yeah, no, that didn't work either for me. And then was that shark voiced by Samuel L. Jackson that was talking to the deep? It either was or it was doing an impression of him. That stood out to me as something. I couldn't get the casting to pop up, but I'm like, okay, does it make it better? No, not at all. It was just like, huh, that's kind of interesting. And I don't know what they're doing with Kevin. I hate the Deep. The Deep is the most wasted member of the Seven consistently, and he's still wasted. He's still a word for a cat that doesn't have anything to do with aquatics, but he's a coward. He's sniveling. He's like the first member of the Seven that should have died. I just don't understand what the point of his character is. It was a little funny that he's like banned from the sea, but a little funny. It doesn't do anything for me. For the briefest moment, I almost thought, okay, what if the Deep's going to go into witness protection and testify against Homelander or something? I was like, that could maybe be interesting. That could maybe make up for him being such a terrible character. But no, of course not. He's just going to cry some more to his agent and look for work. And then I was thinking, oh, Soldier Boy and Homelander, they were having a good scene. Soldier Boy's like, I'm going to leave the country and you do your thing and I'm going to leave. And I'm like, okay, this is the most interesting thing. Sure, why not have Soldier Boy's ending be that he just goes off to Mexico and or wherever and never comes back and just watches things while he's just like getting high in the tropics. And I'm like, okay, yeah, that kind of fits. Let him just have this really miserable ending where he's just so unhappy and he's just numbing out all the time. I'm like, that kind of fits Soldier Boy. That's fine. Run from responsibility like always. And I was cool with that. And then, of course, Homelander had to kidnap him and put him back in cold storage. And I'm like, oh my gosh, please. Please. I just don't want it. And then Huey and Butcher had their heart-to-heart in the interrogation room, and I'm like, are they trying to set up Butcher to be the hero in the finale at this point? Are we trying to change the ending? Because if he could talk, Black Noir would say that wasn't the first time they've changed a comic. And then I thought, where is Ryan? Where has Ryan been? Whatever happened with Ryan? And then I started to think Kimiko was going to die, and I'm like, okay. Oh no, I'm sad. Not. But I liked it. I was like, that's kind of cool. It'd be kind of gutsy to have Kimiko go through all these experiments and then it killed her. And then she started like seizing and I was like, oh, am I right? And then Sage is like convinced to help Frenchie and I hated that. And it seems like Kimiko is going to have the powers now. And I'm like, that only makes sense if it takes the combined powers of Soldier Boy and Kimiko to depower Homelander. That's the only way that I accept the whole depowering abilities given to Kimiko. And then Annie saying, what is the point of saving people if they don't want to be saved? I thought that was interesting. That whole thing where it's like people want to be ruled, people want to be controlled, people want to just have their little comforts in a place where they have no real power and have no need to think. I thought that was actually a deep question. That was actually real. And then I liked Mother's Milk's line about how the hardest people in the world are the ones who choose to stay soft and still care about the happenings. I liked that too. I personally care a lot. I think the people who are like willing to die for their convictions are way more respectable than the ones that just turn off their brains and pretend that the world around them isn't existing and just escape into fantasy. I was going to say into the boys, but I mean, I escape into the boys still, so it's not, I won't be that literal with it, but just the ones that like refuse to acknowledge anything and are just like, yep, this is my life now. This is what I'm doing now. I don't care. Bringing Kessler back just to have Billy be like, oh, yeah, I was a monster. I was a monster the whole time, even before everything that happened with my wife. Let's just set it all up for the finale. Let's just make Butcher always a butcher and do all the steps that we didn't spend 5 seasons doing so that we can make it all make sense with this one background that were suddenly making up at the 11th hour. Yep, yep, okay. Okay, I believe you. Yeah, that's cool. I hate Butcher now. Mm-hmm, that worked. Exposition dump, it worked. That was perfect. It was perfect. Oh, man. Man. I had so many notes. I'm just like skimming them. Like, I just don't even want to talk about it. I just don't even care. Oh, yeah, this was kind of a funny thought. The cat and the dog superhero. I had the thought while I was watching that. I was like, what if these two had been furries the whole time and they were the two Fursona heroes and then this was them meeting? How did the boys miss that opportunity? That would have been genius, honestly. That would have been like the best. That would have made that all so much more satisfying. Them like weirdly sniffing each other and stuff would have been so much funnier if they were both furries. Honestly, I'm like, the boys is so weird. I can't believe they didn't think of that. Yeah, so then they killed Frenchie, and I'm like, oh my gosh, Frenchie, no. No. Once again, I didn't care. I literally think that The Boys is like the whole series, 5 seasons. At this point, I feel like it's 5 seasons that were dragged out, basically mainly because of Kimiko and Frenchie's antics, and it's really a 2-hour movie. It's an email from the boss that was turned into a meeting. It's like this whole show didn't need to happen. At this point, it's so much of it is wasted. So much of it is stupid that I'm like, this Frenchie, this is your fault. Frenchie, this is your karma. Also, Frenchie getting final lines. He was being blasted. His skin should have been melted off by that radiation. What are we doing? That was so ham-fisted. Frenchie should have been dead in that radiation chamber with all his skin burned off. He looked completely fine when he crawled over to Kimiko. There was a blood trail, but I'm like, this does not make any sense. Was Frenchie a soup the whole time? How did he not die in that radiation chamber instantly? I just don't believe that. We've seen that it burns off Kimiko's skin even. He should have been like boiled. And then I thought like, okay, Frenchie's going to sacrifice himself and we're going to get some shock twist where Kimiko sneaks in and blasts Homelander and steals his powers right now, and they're going to go the Last Jedi route and kill Snoke before he's ever a villain. And that would be a cop-out, but it would at least be interesting. It would at least be surprising. But no, Frenchie just dies for no reason, and then Homelander leaves even though he knows they're there. And there's still no massacred billions. There was no setup for massacring billions. I at least thought like maybe by the end he would turn on humanity and massacre them all. But we've got 1 hour left to end the show. There's no Ryan. Butcher and Huey, where are they? Starlight and MM, they're out. Or yeah, Butcher and Huey, we know where they're at actually. Starlight and MM, they're out there somewhere. All those Homelander fans, why didn't they go live on like their TikToks and tell the world what happened with Homelander? At least then you could have set up him like massacring the world. That's what I thought they were going to do. Starlighters are the good guys, and then that would at least be like interesting, and maybe Homelander kills everyone then. I just don't even know what this show's trying to do. Now I'm just convinced that this show has had no budget all along, which is why you never get real superpowers. You get like basic crap fighting with like limited special effects. I'm just like, this is awful. This is terrible. I'm like, was Game of Thrones Season 8 this bad? Was it this bad? It at least had effects. It at least had something visually interesting. This is just terrible. I'm like drained even remembering it. Like I said, I'm still going to cover the last episode, but I just don't think there's any way that they're going to end this in any sort of good way. I'm dumbfounded. I'm like speechless. I'm like, I don't know how they can be so incompetent that they can't do anything right with this show. It's apathy. It's apathy at this point. I'm not mad. I feel like I sound sad. I am a little sad. I'm like Soldier Boy. I'm just like, you are a disappointment. That's what this show is. That's what these writers are. That's what this whole show. When I think back on the countless hours I wasted on it, I'm like, I can't get those back. Dozens of hours. Dozens. And for what? The show never goes anywhere. Nothing ever happens. I just feel tricked, and I mean it's only my fault for continuing to fall for it, continuing to fund them by watching it every episode. I'm just like, oh my gosh, what have I been doing with my life? It makes me literally rethink my life choices. It's so bad. I just don't have anything else to say. I'm just like I hate all of this. I hate it all. The Boys is terrible. I think it's like official. There's no way that the finale lands. And even if it does, it doesn't excuse everything before. I just completely like abandoned my notes. I'm just over it. Let me know if I'm crazy or if you all feel the same. I just thought this was horrible. I just felt like, yeah, they've been wasting my time. They're never going to do anything. Nothing ever happens in this show. I don't care. I don't care. I'll finish it off. And that'll be it. But yeah. Sorry if it was a bummer. This episode really just was like the final straw for me. I've been Gremlin Dominus, and this was your Boys review. I appreciate the people that have been watching my Boys videos. I like the idea of the Boys more than the actual execution, unfortunately, which is true for so many of my fandoms now. But yeah, love to you all. I appreciate you who stand by me and who are here, and I will say goodbye now. I was trying to think of some kind of like the Boys themed goodbye, but I just can't. Just goodbye to the Boys next week, thank goodness. And goodbye to you all now. Love you. Bye.